Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Chattahoochee, Florida. Yes, today we moved from Pensacola to Chattahoochee, and we are on a little earlier tonight because at 5 p.m. Pacific, I have a meeting that I need to be at. So I thought I'd come a little early because I don't know how long the meeting can go. It can go for an hour, it could go for 2, who knows. But anyway, so we had a really good, it was our best drive yet. But before I get started, I have to give a huge shout out to my parents. Today in New Zealand is their 55th wedding anniversary. They are just amazing people, and I am so blessed to have such amazing parents. And I suddenly thought, jeepers, they've been together 55 years. And I thought, well, hang on, they've been together longer than I've been alive. So I'm sort of like, bang. And here I am celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary, knowing that at the end of the year I'm turning 54. So it's sort of like, wow, that's a long time. And they are off on one of their little road trips, having a break to celebrate their anniversary. I guess they kind of got out of town in case daughter surprised them, but no, I wasn't going to do that. But no, I'm glad that they're away enjoying their anniversary and having a great time. Super blessed to have them as parents. They were awesome. They are the ones that instilled with me a love for travel. We spent many school holidays, vacations, traveling to different parts of New Zealand. Sometimes we did it with friends, sometimes with family. But the 5 of us had a blast on our holidays, even if we did kick up a stink every now and again about going away and that sort of stuff. But we got to see places in New Zealand that a lot of people don't get to see because they were taking us into the back roads and off the beaten path and that sort of stuff. So it was really cool. Still remember our time in Tolaga Bay. That was awesome. But in Tolaga Bay, they have this really, I think it's the longest pier in New Zealand. It's really long. And I remember fishing off the end of it. So I used to go fishing as a kid, but I would never handle the fish. I still don't to this day. I love to fish. Hey, Zephy girl. I love to fish. If the fish is on the hook, I need somebody to take it off the hook and dress it, then I will cook it. So between when I catch it to when I cook it in the kitchen, somebody else has to deal with all that in between stuff. I'm not very good with dealing with dead animals or dead things or hanging on to fish and taking hooks out of their mouths. Somebody else has to do that for me, and then they have to do all the deboning, descaling, gutting it, all of that sort of stuff, and I'll quite happily cook it, which is why I don't go fishing anymore, because I've got nobody to do that for me. But I used to love going fishing, and would go on hikes, and we'd go see some of the tourist sites, but most of the time it was just taking us to places that a lot of people don't normally get to see in New Zealand. So I was very blessed to have the parents that I had, and I still have them. So happy anniversary, Mum and Dad. Hope you have a super fantastic, sparkling 55th anniversary, and may you have many more years together full of love and happiness, and lots of laughter too. And this little one here is a very happy puppy today, because she got to run around in the second largest dog park we have come across. The biggest one we came across was the one in Tucson, but this one is very close in size to that one. So it's a very close second. I don't think there's a lot of difference between them. But we had a good drive today. We actually, it said it was 160 miles, and it would take us, it said 2 hours and 50 minutes, I think it was. And that was just drive time, no breaks. We left at 8:43. We drove an hour and 45 minutes. We pulled into a rest area, which was at mile marker 96. So we got on at mile marker 7, drove to mile marker 96. Got out there. I was thinking of pushing through to the next rest area, and then I was like, no, while I'm feeling good, let's still take the break, get out, stretch, get up, stretch, have the walks, let Zephy have a break and all that sort of stuff while I'm still awake, so I'm not fighting the tiredness and maybe having to find somewhere in between, because the next one was like 30 miles down the road. I thought, no, this will be a good place to stop. And so we got there, and the whole drive, it was a very misty, mysterious type of day. You had the low clouds and the fog, and you had that little light misty rain where you needed to have your wipers on intermittent. and every now and again it would rain a little heavier. And one thing I like about the RV is that it's got like about 10 different intermittent timer things set on there, so you can just as you need to, as well as full go and double speed. And so I think I had it on like the second to bottom one. And so you had this beautiful, it was gorgeous, all these trees on either side, and then this layer of fog and low cloud ahead of you. You know, poor visibility as far as, you know, some of the days we've been traveling and you got like a 10-mile visibility. We probably had about a 2 to 3 mile visibility. But it was awesome. I was like, oh, this is so cool. You got the trees, you got the mist, you got the fog. The brain starts going into all sorts of different scenarios that you could have with that. Nothing scary. I'm not into horror, so nothing scary. And then we got to this rest area, and you had to go off the road a little bit to get to it. And you can't go into that corner because I'm sitting there. You silly dog. Just trying to force her way into the corner here. Okay, hang on. Let me move across for you. There you go. Now you can sit up and say hi. I'm sorry, I was sitting in her spot. Hi, sweetie girl. And so it was just magical, you know, and the sun was shining and all that sort of thing. People go, oh, but it was a overcast day. The sun wasn't shining. My thing to that is on days like this when it's misty and it's foggy and all of that is, and people try and say, oh, the sun wasn't shining. I go, well, yes, it was. And they're like, no, it wasn't. I go, well, how else do you get daylight? The sun's always shining to give you. You've got daylight, you've got the sun is shining. You may not be able to see it as brightly as you normally can, but when the sun is shining, there is daylight. Anyway, so we got to this rest area. It was gorgeous. It was full of trees, lots and lots and lots of trees, lots of picnic thingies in between. There was a lot of traffic going on there. So we had a very quick break. From the time we pulled into the parking space to the time that we left the rest area was 15 minutes. It's one of our quickest breaks, but I just wanted a quick break. Got up, we did some stretches. We went out for a walk so she could do her thing. As soon as her thing was done, we were back in here, had a quick drink of water, grabbed a snack, and we were back on the road again. It was just very, very quick. A lot of people around, very busy, so I didn't want to take up the truck parking spaces because those guys put in some long hours and drives and stuff. Had a great drive through. And then it's just sort of like carried on through, and we didn't stop until we got here to the campground in Chattahoochee. This dog is nuts. And she starts whining and all that. So we get all checked in, we get to the site. So I tell her, and she's like whining. I says, right, as soon as we get hooked up, like we get the power and the water hooked up, then I'll take you to the dog park. Because I noticed on the map they had a new dog park. They crossed off the old dog park and they moved it to this bigger area. And we went over there, and I was like, oh, it's a big dog park. Oh. And if you go to Zephy's Adventures, you'll see a short video of her running around in the park there. She wasn't too fast on the frisbee because she found this little football boot thingy, my bob, that she liked to chew on, and she was happy if I threw that and she'd go chase it. But she wouldn't bring it back to me. She'd just run past me and expect me to chase her. So we had some fun there. We were there for probably about 30 to 40 minutes. Then we wandered back, and I've been doing some work ever since. So been reassuring people about the coronavirus. So I have my thoughts on that. I have my thoughts on the media, but I am not going to share them because I don't want to offend anybody. It's just my advice to you with the coronavirus is check your facts and keep it in perspective. The media over-sensationalizes everything. They've got mass panic going. But if you go to places like the CDC, World Health Organization, if you're taking cruises, go to the cruise line sites. They've got updated information there for you about embarkation, about what happens if you're on board the ship. Check your resources. Do not rely on the media to give you everything, because they will overdo everything. Like I read in one report, there was 200 cases reported, confirmed cases in the US. Yet the CDC, as of yesterday, had 50 confirmed cases and 49 possible positives. So a total of 99 people. And people are in mass hysteria at the moment. But you've got to think there's over 320 million people in the US, and you've got about 100 people who are positive. Put it in perspective. That's all I'm going to say is just keep your head about this whole thing. Check your resources. Don't get caught up in the hype. I don't listen to the news. I don't watch the news. I just occasionally go in and have a look to see what they're saying, so that when my clients turn around and come to me and say, we've heard this, da, 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 then I can say to them, okay, you've heard this. This is what the facts are. So go by the facts, not by the hype. And I just, it's going back to like, this is what it was like with Zika and Ebola, and what were the other ones that came out? SARS, and I can't remember what the other ones were, but there was a whole bunch of them that have come out over the past few years and stuff, and it's the exact same thing. It just seems to be that the media gets a little hyped up even more each time. So please check your sources. Please check your resources. Check with your cruise lines, check with the airlines, see what they're doing, see what their things are. Some are changing their cancellation policies, some aren't. They're just saying, nope, we're just leaving it as it is. They're not feeding into the fear, is basically what they're doing. So it's just sort of like, check your resources. Do not believe the hype. Facts, not hype. That's my advice to you. Facts, not hype. So anyway, on a brighter note, we sat here, we have got some work done. I'm about to go into a meeting for an hour or two, and then this little one down here, well, she won't get another run tonight. She'll definitely get some runs tomorrow into the dog park. We'll probably do a couple of, because we're here for 2 nights, not close to anything. Like the nearest town is like 6 or 7 miles that away. Yes, that away. We're a mile off the I-10, so you can just hear it. I'm just hearing like trucks going past. So it means it's going to be a very quiet night. Yay. And the temperatures are down a little lower. Yay. But I will tell you this, it was so humid, my glasses were fogging up while we were at the dog park. At the dog park, I'm having to put my regular glasses up on my head because I couldn't see because they were fogging up. It was so bad. The humidity here is horrible. And we had the AC on for a while just to dry the air out within the RV, and I've had it turned off, and it's been fine ever since. So yeah, so that's it for me. Happy anniversary to my parents. 55 years. Amazing. Awesome. Love you guys. Here's to another 55, maybe. I can hear them now. But they'll be off celebrating. I know what they're doing for the celebration, but I'm not going to say. It's not my place to say. But they are having fun. Yeah. So, yes, you'll get more runs tomorrow. She was whining at me when I put her frisbee, because I put her frisbee up so she doesn't get to just chew on it. So she was whining at me when I put it on the little shelf above the door, which is where it sits when we are parked. And so I can get it and we can go out for it. And I take it for us when we go for walks. But today she was more interested in the little football boot thing than she was in the frisbee. So we'll see. But I hear the wind is picking up because my awning is making a lot of noise. So we may have to pull that in before the end of the night. Although it's supposed to have some automatic thingy on the roof, but I don't really want to test it. I want it for the unexpected, when I'm not expecting wind. But anyway, okay, rabbit on for long enough. I'm out of here. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will see you tomorrow at the regular time. Yes, at the regular time. I'm just mentally thinking of my calendar, at the regular time tomorrow. But we are signing off now because we are about to go into a meeting. Have a super, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hei konera.